Because of the bitter taste that the situation the United States was left in with France after the XYZ affair, a lot of the American people became very suspicious of immigrants that were coming in from Europe, um, because they began to think of whether or not they were sympathetic with the French, if they were French spies. And so the attitude towards new immigrants changed within the United States. So much so that Congress went ahead and actually passed a series of very controversial laws that were known as the Alien and Sedition Acts. And with these acts, it allowed the president to deport or imprison any type of immigrants during wartime. And it also then outlawed any type of writing or protest against the government. It was known as sedition, right? Opposing the government anyway, known as sedition, was considered illegal. And so, pretty much, it took away freedom of speech and the press, in a sense, because now not only protesting and writing down if you disagreed the actions of the government, now this was something that was illegal, though it was something free speech and freedom of the press was protected with the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. As a reaction to the passing of the Alien and Sedition Acts, the Kentucky and Virginia resolutions were written. Jefferson wrote the resolution for the Kentucky legislature, and Madison wrote the resolution for the Virginia legislature. And the resolutions pretty much argued that the acts were unconstitutional. Oh, I don't know why that says ACEs. That should say acts. Were unconstitutional because they interfered with the constitutional rights that were granted to the states, as the states were the ones who can then actually deal with their own citizens. And of course, it took away the rights of freedom of speech and freedom of the press. The Kentucky resolution actually went further and insisted that states could nullify laws they found unconstitutional. In other words, a state could say that the law that was passed by Congress, so the Alien and Sedition Acts, they thought they were unconstitutional, so the state could then go ahead and say, we don't have to follow this law, it's not constitutional, so we void it. It no longer exists in our state, according to the Kentucky resolution. Eventually, over time, Congress let the acts expire because these acts did not have a perpetual or a date that lasted forever. They were only in Congress for so long as laws. But the resolutions showed that the states could challenge the federal government, right? That was the importance of the Kentucky and Virginia resolutions. It showed that the states still had the ability to challenge the national government and the laws that were being passed.